Welcome back to the show. So in this part, we'll take a closer look at how our London clubs fared in their games over the last week. And we'll start with the biggest FA Cup shock that definitely in my lifetime I've ever seen. In the history of the FA Cup, possibly. Chelsea 2, Bradford 4. I never thought I'd ever get to say that, and I quite enjoy saying it. So Chelsea 2, Bradford 4. Kenny.
One more time, please, before I say my words.
Chelsea 2, Bradford City 4.
Did everyone hear that?
Kenny, what on earth happened?
I'll tell you what happened. Chelsea took their foot on the gas.
2-0 up, they thought the game was won.
Well, of course it was, because Jose Mourinho doesn't... Chelsea teams under Mourinho don't lose like that.
Jose Mourinho is a manager. His sides have only let in 4 or more goals on 5 separate occasions. So Bradford joined the likes of Tottenham, I think Dortmund.
Exactly.
There's a couple of others in there
Who scored some goals.
But they've joined an elite group of teams.
I was astonished because I was getting bored watching the football. I was thinking, yeah, Tottenham are going to win, Chelsea are winning. Then John Stead scored a great goal, especially when he's had his back to goal. He's turning his wrong foot, his left foot. Petr Cech normally saves those, goes in the net. And I think the momentum was actually with Bradford in the second half.
And there's just no excuse for that game. I think Mourinho, they fielded a strong team.
Exactly.
Mourinho says it's the worst result he's ever had as a manager. Well, what else can he say?
I don't know. I think he's exaggerating a bit. I remember a result for Real Madrid against Barcelona where they lost 5-0. But obviously, we know Jose Mourinho has selective memory sometimes. But in the context of the game, like I said, the context of the game, Cahill scores the first goal. Ramirez scores what I call a worldie goal, sort of goal I liked. And then I think Bradford had confidence when they went 2-1 down, because when Skes gets its goal, they've got something to go for. And I think what Chelsea did is that they started making their substitutions. Like I said, they broke up the pattern of play. And what's happened, unfortunately, Gary Cahill had a stinker. He had an absolute stinker. I mean, where was he for the second, third and fourth goals? I mean, John Stead, I've seen Milk turn faster than him. And yet he's managed to hold the ball up and do a little flick for the fourth goal. I mean, Gary Cahill he's no good blaming Zuma, because Gary Cahill was the senior partner. He's got more experience. But to let, like I said, Bradford score that, and then Cesc Fabregas as well. Fourth goal, where's Cesc Fabregas?
I think it is a case of Chelsea thought the game was won at 2-0.
Absolutely.
They took their foot off the gas, they lost
Absolutely.
their shape, and, well, Bradford punished them ultimately.
Well, I'm still shocked now. I still think someone's messed me about that Chelsea was, maybe it's an April Fool.
We'll briefly mention their Capital One Cup semi-final second leg.
Fantastic game.
And when I say briefly,
I'm going to say briefly. All right, I've got 2 words for you. Fantastic game. Absolutely fantastic game. It was what Cup tie is all about. Diego Costa, my man. Even though I gave him Donkey of the Week or Wooden Spoon, he fired his team up. They were up for it. Absolutely.
He is a fighter.
He's a street fighter.
In every sense of the word.
That game was fantastic. It was end-to-end. We had chances.
But he should have seen red. He should have seen red.
Absolutely.
And then it changes the outcome of the game.
Absolutely. But then again, Scuttle's no angel. Scuttle was putting the elbow in. He was headbutting from behind. He was pulling the shirts. All right, there's no need to react like that. But Scuttle's he's not the white-haired boy that everyone makes him out to be.
Well, I think Costa provoked every inch of his behaviour.
Yeah, we know, but he's a street fighter. But
we'll move on from Chelsea anyway. We've got a lot of games to go through. So Bradford, they get to play either Fulham or Sunderland in the next round of the Cup. So we'll go on to that game. Sunderland 0, Fulham 0. Good performance from Fulham.
I thought I watched the game. I thought it was a very good game by Fulham. I thought they went in there with a game plan. They defended very well.
And they had chances. They had chances to win the game. Rodallega hit the post. They did have a couple of other openings.
Exactly. But again, it's the FA Cup. As soon as you get a sniff of Wembley, there are no team that is better than any other team. When you get a sniff of Wembley and the money of getting through the 7 runs, it's all equal. Whether it's a League One side playing a Premiership side.
And do you fancy Fulham for the replay at home?
Well, what Fulham's going to turn up? Is it the Fulham that I saw against Watford? Then no.
Well, they were down to 10 men after 18 minutes.
Yeah, but even so, they still made defensive mistakes that I didn't like. The first 2 goals were a joke. Even though they went down to 10 men before that, what happened to the 2 goals before that? But we'd already discussed that. If Fulham do not defend properly and do not battle in midfield, then you're going to lose.
Well, I think Fulham will go through and they'll show Chelsea how to beat Bradford in the next round. But we'll move on quickly to the other FA Cup game, Southampton Palace. Another great performance from Pardew and Palace.
Alan Pardew, I don't know what's happened. I think he's like another, Tony Pulis. He's just getting a little bit extra out of play. He's getting a lot out of Punjan. He's getting more out of Shamak. Sanogo's actually got the right manager. And basically, the fact that he's played for Crystal Palace is that he's transporting the passion into those players. And I think that's where you get a result. Even though they'll go down, it doesn't matter. They don't know when they've lost a game. And if they carry on that attitude, we're talking maybe an appearance in the semi-final, maybe the final. No one's going to want to play Crystal Palace under Pardew. I can tell you that for a start.
That was a great result from Palace. So we'll move on to Spurs now. Now, they lost at home 2-1 to Leicester.
Clowns.
Poor result.
Clowns. Absolute clowns. The bottom line is that they went 1-0 up, thought the game was won. 10 minutes, they do all their little fancy down, little substitutions here and there. I don't care what any said. It's the cup. Leicester may be bottom of the table and Spurs may be 7th. It doesn't matter. You don't shut that door, get that second goal, then you're inviting the pressure. And then you look at the goals. I mean, it was like a little move where no one's actually tackling Schlopp when he puts the ball in for Ulloa. He has all the time in the world to turn and shoot. Where was the defence? And the second goal was pathetic. I mean, form, when you're a goalkeeper, you get it and you cover it. It's your ball. You don't leave your arms open like that so it spins out. It's basically, form's costing the game.
And so a little mention of their Capital One Cup semi-final. A 2-2 draw away to Sheffield United. Well, Ericsson saved them, 88th minute, and they're through and set up an all-London final, Ken.
I can think of future shows here. But seriously, in North London, where I'm from, we've got an expression about Tottenham. Spurs always seem to find a way to Spurs it up. And they nearly Spursed it up. And thank God for their delightful fans that they didn't do it.
Well done to both Spurs and Chelsea into the final. So carrying on with the FA Cup, Brighton-Arsenal. Good game. 3-2 to Arsenal.
Arsenal should have been 4-0 up before half-term. It shouldn't have been a contest. It shouldn't be 2-0. We had enough chance, enough play to actually destroy them. We actually murdered them in the first half. We're talking capital punishment here. We blitzed them. And then we let them back in. Hughton's given them a rocket. They get another goal. We get a third goal. And then they get their second goal. But even when we got their second goal, there were times where Chuba Pom was basically on a break. He had a fantastic game. And we could have murdered them, so it wasn't as close as the result suggests.
And moving on, Bristol City played West Ham. West Ham through to the next round, 1-0.
Absolutely, this is the West Ham I like. The West Ham last year.
But it was a proper cup game, that one.
Oh,
Bristol
absolutely.
City had chances.
Yeah.
They could have taken the lead on more than one occasion.
And so West Ham could have as well. Andy Carroll, injury-free, on his wrong foot, byline, right-footed cross, Sacco, fantastic goal. 1-0, shut-up shot, thank you very much, let's go home in the 5th round.
And
brilliant.
It's anyone's cup now.
It's anyone's cup, but I still think Arsenal are the favourites.
Well, you would say that, but we'll see. So moving on to the Championship, I'll run through the games because we're running a bit short on time, and obviously we'll pick out one that sticks out. So Norwich lost at home to Brentford, 2-1. Watford 2-0 down at half-time to Blackpool. They won 7-2. And Wolves and Charlton played out a 0-0 draw, as did Millwall and Reading on Tuesday. Kenny, the game that sticks out there?
Well, 2-0 down, seven second-half goals. What can you say?
And that puts Watford, that keeps them in 6th, but they got a 3-point gap on 7th, and they're only 4 points off the top now.
Well, definitely. I think what's happening is that it's, as I said before, if you look at previous seasons, whoever wins that division, the Championship, they get 100 points. It's not going to happen this season. Whoever, I reckon it's going to be 88 points that actually wins them that league. 88 points tops, because all the teams are beating each other, and there isn't a gap between first and 7th.
Who do Watford have this Friday?
Watford got Bournemouth.
Top of the league. So
and who have Brentford got?
Game.
Brentford got Middlesbrough as well.
Another top of the table.
Top games.
Brentford are only 2 points off the top now.
Exactly, but like I said, this is where they do it. But remember, Middlesbrough has got a game in hand on them because of the cups. So
and a quick mention for Charlton, because they kept their first clean sheet in 9 games. As you said, Luzon, his first game in charge, and a positive result against a Wolves side in 7th, who will see that as 2 points dropped.
Well, absolutely, I think it's all about organisation, isn't it? You get your manager in; he's got enough time to set his team up. Set his team up. Remember, he's got start from the back and then the front, and the midfield. and get that little shape. And I thought when Charlton played, for the first time, they've had some shape. And I think it was imperative because for confidence-wise, they got the clean sheet.
And then, so moving a bit further down the league, in League One, Colchester beat Leyton Orient by 2-0. And in League Two, AFC Wimbledon beat Accrington Stanley 2-1. And Dagenham and Redbridge got a good point away to Cambridge. Good point for Dagenham.
Oh, absolutely good point. So, Cambridge were on a bit of a high because they got a great result against Man United, albeit a 0-0. And Dagenham and Redbridge showed some fight. They were actually battled and really up for that game. I thought they were quite unlucky to actually go a goal down. And
they've actually moved out of the relegation zone now. Only on goal difference, but a good point for them all the same. We got through all those results in one part. Good stuff. So join us after the break where we'll be joined by our special guest to talk about some London transfers.
My name is Nick the Moose Batsford, Commander-in-Chief, tiptv.co.uk. We're here 10 AM every day covering markets and sport live from the heart of London.